Hi students, today I am going to teach sign convention for measurement of distances. Students, at the time of we are using convex mirror or concave mirror, same as convex lens, concave lens for the measurement, we need to follow certain rule to calculate the distance of the object, distance of the image. Okay, so this class I am going to teach the sign convention for measurement of distances. You should know how we can measure the values. Okay, so for the purpose, today I am going to teach sign convention for measurement of distances. So the object is always placed on the left side of the mirror. This is first condition. So whenever the object is placed in front of the mirror, it should be placed on the left side of the mirror. It should be placed on the left side of the mirror. Okay students, here the object is placed left side to the mirror. This is a mirror. The object is placed left side like this. Next, all distance are measured from the pole of the mirror. Already you know that. What is a pole? Pole means that is a center point of the mirror. The pole is noted by letter P. It is a center point of the mirror. So all the distances measured from the pole of the mirror. Okay. So whenever you are measuring the value, you should measure the values from pole of the mirror. Next, distance measured in the direction of incident light are taken as positive, and those measured in opposite direction are taken as negative. What is the meaning for this? Distance measured in the direction incident light are taken as positive. The incident light, direction of incident light. This is a direction of incident light. Okay. So this is a direction against the incident light. So we are place the light is here. So this is a direction of the incident light. This is a direction against the incident light. So you are measuring the values. It is along the direction of the incident light, means it should be mentioned in positive. If you are taking the readings from the pole, it has the direction is against the directions of the incident light, means here it is taken as negative. Example, you need to calculate the distance of the object. Already you know that the object is placed left hand side of the mirror. Okay, so you are taking the values of the distance of the object, means you are calculating from the pole to the object. Here this distance is against the directions of the incident light, so it should be mentioned in negative. So here we are placed the object in left hand side to the mirror, so it should be calculated in negative. It should be mentioned in negative. Okay students. Next, all distance measured perpendicular to the above to the principal axis are considered to be positive. Okay, so if you are taking the values, that values is upwards direction to the principal axis, means it should be mentioned in positive. It should be calculated in positive. Okay students, like here you are measuring the values from the pole, that values towards downwards from the principal axis. This is a principal axis. This is a principal axis. The axis is a joint center of curvature pole of the mirror. That axis is called a principal axis. Okay, so you are measuring the values is towards downwards to the principal axis, means that values is taken as negative. Is taken as negative. Okay, that is all distance measured perpendicular to the below the principal axis. Below the principal axis means the directions towards downwards. Okay, below the principal axis are considered as negative. Okay students, this is a sign convention while measuring the readings for concave mirror, convex mirror. Sign convention for spherical mirrors. Type of mirror. Concave mirror. Okay, U means that is a distance of object. So V for the concave mirror, it is give the image that is a real virtual image. For the real image, it should be calculated left hand side to the mirror, so that is mentioned in negative. For the virtual, that is positive. The focal length F is has the sign is negative, or radius of curvature, that is left hand side to the mirror. Okay, what are this focal length and radius of curvature? It is left hand side to the mirror, so it should be mentioned in negative. Next, height of the object. Height of the object for the concave mirror, that is upwards to the mirror, so that is one of the positive. Height of the image, if it is real image, means that is give the values in negative. For the virtual image, it has the values is positive. For convex mirror, the distance of the object, that is negative. The V, distance of the image. Here for the convex mirror, there is no real image, so virtual image, that is a positive. Focal length, radius of curvature, both are calculated in positive. Height of the image, positive. Height of the image, here there is no real image, only virtual image. The virtual image, it has a sign positive. Next, mirror equation. The expression relating the distance of object. Okay, you know the distance of the object is U, distance of the image V, and focal length F of a spherical mirror is called the mirror equation. The relation between distance of the object, distance of the image, and focal length of the spherical mirror is called mirror equation. So the relation between the U, V and F is given by 1 divided by F is equal to 1 divided by U plus 1 divided by V. F means that is a focal length of the mirror, U means that is a distance of the object, V means that is a distance of image. So the relationship between the focal length, distance of the object, and the distance of the image is given by 1 divided by F is equal to 1 divided by U plus 1 divided by V. That is mirror equation. That is important. 2 more questions, students. Mirror equation. Next, linear magnification. What is in the linear magnification? The magnification produced by spherical mirror gives how many times the image of object is magnified with respect to the object size. Okay, magnification means magnification produced by a spherical mirror gives how many times the image of an object is magnified with respect to the object size. It can be defined the ratio of height of the image to the height of the object. Okay, so the definition for the linear magnification, it can be defined as the ratio of the height of the image to the height of the object. So in a formula, it is given by M is equal to Hi divided by Ho. Hi divided by Ho. What is meant by Hi? That is height of the image. What is the meaning for Ho? That is height of the object. Okay, so the ratio between height of the image to the height of the object is called linear magnification. The linear magnification can be related to the object distance U and the image distance V. So we can give another formula for the linear magnification. M is equal to minus V divided by U. M is equal to minus V divided by U. The derivation for the linear magnification and mirror equation you will study in 11th standard. Okay, students. Okay, so the brief explanation for the mirror equation and the linear explanation you will be discussing 11th standard. Okay, students. So M is equal to Hi divided by H naught is equal to minus V divided by U. Okay, so the linear magnification M is equal to Hi divided by H naught is equal to minus V divided by U. It is also important formula. So depend upon the linear magnification and mirror equation, we are going to discuss about this problem question answer. That is a example problem is given in our book. Find the size, nature and the position of the image formed when an object of size 1 centimeter. When an object of size 1 centimeter is placed at a distance of 15 centimeter from a concave mirror of focal length 10 centimeter. Okay students, so here first we are going to take the given data. First the object distance is given. The object distance u is equal to minus 15 centimeter. Already you know that for the concave mirror the object distance u, it will be taken as negative. Okay, for the concave mirror the u is negative. For convex mirror u is negative. Okay, so first you need to choose which mirror we are using, and then at the time of writing the values you must put the sign. Okay, for the object distance for both mirror, the object distance it will be have the values, it will be noted by the negative. Okay, so u is equal to minus 15 centimeter because to the left of the mirror, the object is placed to the left of the mirror, so u is equal to minus 15 centimeter. Next, image distance v is equal to, we need to calculate the values. Okay, find the size, nature and position. Okay, v is equal to what? Next, focal length is given. For the concave mirror the focal length is also left to the mirror, so f is equal to minus 10 centimeter. So using the mirror formula we can take the 1 divided by f is equal to 1 divided by u plus 1 divided by v. So here you know the values of the u, we need to find the values of the v. So this formula it can be written as, what is the values of the 1 divided by, so directly you can substitute. Otherwise you can use another formula, 1 divided by v is equal to 1 divided by f minus 1 divided by u. Okay, so here according to our book we can write 1 divided by v plus, already you know the values of u, it is substituted in this equation. 1 divided by minus 15 is equal to 1 divided by minus 10. So in next step 1 divided by v minus 1 divided by 15 is equal to minus 1 divided by 10. Okay students, so here this formula is simplified to 1 divided by v is equal to minus 1 divided by 10. This minus 1 divided by 15 in right hand side it will become as plus 1 divided by 15. So 1 divided by v is equal to, we are taking the cross multiplication for this. Okay students, here it has a LCM, we are taking the LCM. So it has a values is 10, it has a values is 15, so you are taking the LCM means it has a values is 30. So both side it is multiplied within the 3. Here this equation both side, numerator denominator both side it is multiplied within the 2. So it will become as minus 3 divided by 30. This is plus 2 divided by 30. So in next step we can write that is minus 3 plus 2 divided by 30. That is equal to minus 2 plus 2 means that is minus 1 divided by 30. That is the values of the 1 divided by v. So from this we can take the values of the v. Thus image distance v is equal to minus 30 centimeter. The negative sign is indicate the image on the left side of the mirror. For the concave the image is also formed, real image is formed left hand side to the mirror. Position of the image is 30 centimeter in front of the mirror. Since the image is in front of the mirror, it is a real and inverted image. To find the size of the image, we have calculated the magnification. M is equal to minus v divided by u is equal to minus into minus 30 divided by minus 15. So it is give the answer is minus 2. Okay, minus into minus plus divided by minus, so it will become as minus 2. We know that m is equal to h2 divided by h1, otherwise that is hi divided by h0. Okay, so the height of the object, that is a h O is equal to 1 centimeter, that is h1 is equal to 1 centimeter. We can write hi divided by h0, otherwise h2 divided by h1. Okay, so according to explanation, m is equal to hi divided by h0. So m is equal to hi divided by h0 means what is h0? That is the height of the object. So height of the object h0 is equal to 1 centimeter. Otherwise you can take that is h1 is equal to 1 centimeter. So already you know the values of the m. It is substituted in this equation means minus 2 is equal to hi or h2 divided by 1, so it will become as, what is the values of the h naught? H naught is equal to, or h2 is equal to minus 2 into 1, that is minus 2 centimeter. Here the height of the image is 2 centimeter, negative sign, so that the image is formed below to the principal axis. Okay students, so the size, nature and position. Size is V is equal to minus 3 centimeter. Nature, that is a real and inverted image. So position is also calculated. The position is minus 30 centimeter. The height of the image is 2 centimeter. Okay students. Next problem number 2. An object 2 centimeter high is placed at a distance of 16 centimeter from the concave mirror, which produce a real image 3 centimeter high. Find the position of the image. So the height of the image height of the object h naught, that is h1 is equal to 2 centimeter. h1 is equal to 2 centimeter. Height of the real image h2 is equal to minus 3 centimeter. Object h1 is equal to 2 centimeter. Height of the real image h2 is equal to minus 3 centimeter. So we need to find the position. For calculate the position, here we are taking the magnification. Magnification m is equal to h2 divided by h1. So minus 3 divided by 2 is equal to minus 1.5 centimeter. So that is one of the magnification. From the magnification, we need to calculate the values of the position. For calculate the position, we need to take the values of the V. So here, what is the values of the magnification? M is equal to another formula, minus V divided by minus V divided by U. So you know the values of the U, that is minus 16 centimeter. You know the values of the M. It is substituted in this equation, means we will get the values of the V. So to get the values of the V, minus 1.5 is equal to minus V divided by minus 16. So minus 1.5 is equal to V divided by 16. So V is equal to 16 into minus 1.5. So that is equal to minus 24 centimeter. So the position of the image is 24 centimeter in front of the mirror. So the negative sign indicate that already you know that the image is on the left side of the mirror. Students, next important 5 mark question, that is uses of concave mirror. Here the concave mirror commonly found in the headlight of vehicles, making the light more reflective and wider, making it possible for the drivers to have a better view at night. Okay students, the concave mirror, it is used as a headlight of the vehicles. Next, here the concave mirrors are also used as a dentist mirror. This type of mirrors is also used by dentists to have a bigger image of teeth that they are attending to. Next, the concave mirrors are also widely used in the field of science, particularly in microscope. Even solar powered objects are using concave mirrors to concentrate the heat in a single direction. Okay, in a solar panel also they are using the concave mirror to concentrate the heat in a single direction. Next, here the concave mirror is also used in the barber shop, where barbers use it to have an enlarged image of the face. Thank you students.
We are going to learn about bases. Sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide are examples for bases. Sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide are very familiar examples for bases. Sodium hydroxide has got the formula NaOH. Sodium hydroxide has got the formula NaOH. Potassium hydroxide has got the formula KOH. K for potassium. So hydroxide, potassium hydroxide. Okay children. See here, in both cases OH ions are there. OH ions are there. So they are called as bases. When sodium hydroxide is dissolved in water, when sodium hydroxide is dissolved in water, it produces Na plus and OH minus ions. Similarly, when potassium hydroxide is dissolved in water, it produces K plus and OH minus ions. Since they produce replaceable OH minus ions, hydroxyl ions, these are called as sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide are called as bases, and they are also called as alkalis. They are called as alkalis because they belong to alkali metals. They are taken from the earth crust and so they are called as alkalis. Alkalis, all the alkalis are bases, but not all the bases are alkalis. Okay, children. See, we are having zinc oxide, another one reaction, zinc oxide, that is metallic oxide. When it reacts with an acid, it results in the formation of salt and water. Okay. Here, this zinc oxide, this metallic oxide, it acts like a base. We know that whenever a base reacts with an acid, salt and water are produced. Okay, salt and water are produced. Here this is acid, this is acid, this is salt and this is water. So this zinc oxide, this metallic oxide acts like a base. Okay, children. See, this is metallic oxide, zinc oxide. This zinc oxide acts like a base. So zinc oxide reacts with hydrochloric acid to give zinc chloride, salt and water molecule. Here 2 chlorine atoms are there. So we write 2 here. Here 2 hydrogen atoms. Here also 2. So it is balanced. Okay, children. So this is an introduction to base. Now we are going to learn the classification of bases. Classification of bases. Similar to the classification of acids, we are having the classification of bases, children. Classification of bases. Bases are classified as monoacidic, diacidic and triacidic bases. Okay. See, on the basis of their acidity, on the basis of acidity, as bases are divided into 3 types. They are monoacidic base, diacidic base, and also triacidic base. Okay. Acids are classified on the basis of their basicity. Bases are classified on the basis of their acidity. What do you mean by the term acidity? Acidity corresponds to the number of replaceable hydroxyl ions present in a base. Monoacidic base example is sodium hydroxide. Also potassium hydroxide. Here the number of replaceable hydroxyl ions are only 1. So they are called as monoacidic base. Diacidic base examples are calcium hydroxide and also we can write magnesium hydroxide. In both these cases we are having 2 OH minus ions, so they are called as diacidic bases. In triacidic base, examples are aluminium hydroxide and also ferric hydroxide. In all these cases, in these two cases, 3 hydroxyl ions are present. Replaceable hydroxyl ions are present per molecule of the base. So they are called as triacidic bases. Okay, children. So this classification of bases is based on the acidity of bases. The next classification is based on their concentration. Okay, concentration. On the basis of concentration, they are classified as concentrated bases and dilute bases. Dilute bases. A concentrated base has got relatively large amount of large amount of base, large quantity or large amount of base when compared to the solvent. Here in dilute bases, these bases have relatively less amount of base when compared to solvent. In some solvent they might have been dissolved, no? When we compare the amount of bases in these two cases in the solvent, in the case of concentrated bases, the amount of base present in the solvent is large. But in the case of dilute bases, the amount of the base present in the solvent is less. So they are classified as concentrated bases or alkalis and dilute bases or alkalis. Okay, children. The next classification is based on ionization. See, based on ionization, they are classified as strong and weak bases. Strong bases and weak bases. Strong base is a base which undergoes ionization completely in water, whereas weak bases, they undergo partial dissociation of the bases into OH minus ions. The complete dissociation is not possible, not observed in the case of weak bases, but in the case of strong bases, the bases undergo complete dissociation. Complete ionization is possible in the case of strong bases. Examples for strong bases are sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide. For weak bases, examples are ammonium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide. So these are examples for weak bases, ammonium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide. Okay, children. What is this compound called? It is ammonium hydroxide. What is this compound called? This is calcium hydroxide. Okay. So this is classification of bases. So bases are classified on the basis of their acidity as monoacidic, diacidic and triacidic bases. On the basis of their concentration, they are classified as concentrated alkalis and dilute alkalis. On the basis of their ionization, they are classified as strong and weak bases. Okay, children?